Whenever life is testing you, trying to gauge how much you can take or how much you can go, is it to run away from the answer to your problems? Will the problem solve itself on its own? We are given choices to make our life easier. In today's video, we will be talking about when she gave birth to this unusual baby, she ran away from hospital, but the secret was revealed. And let's learn from her story. But before we dig down deep, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell and get updated whenever a new video is published. The happy couple. Maria was headed to the train station since her partner Sergi, who was serving in the military, would be arriving that day. Since she hadn't seen him for 2 years, Maria was excited to snuggle and focus on him. While waiting at the station, she saw Sergi's parents who wanted to meet their son. Upon seeing her lover's parents, she remained seated and didn't approach Alexei Petrovich and Anna Petrovich because she was embarrassed, even though they had met already. The three anxiously waited until a train stopped in front of them, and then the handsome young Sergi recognized Maria. He promptly turned towards her and hugged her. Meanwhile, his parents greeted him, kissed him, and cried tears of happiness. Sergi and Maria didn't take their time. Well, just after a month, they planned to marry with Sergi's parents' blessings and their delight. Maria's mum Tatiana showed up when the chance came for the wedding, and indeed, the picture was perfect. The reception seemed lovely, and everybody in the venue seemed to be having a good time. The young woman wanted to tell her spouse that she was expecting on their wedding day, which made him highly pleased, so he called his family. Moving to her spouse. Maria settled in along with her husband's family just after the wedding, and Anna and Alexei took great care of her and excused her from household chores because she was expecting. Sergi took her out again in parks and to the movies. Maria was occasionally delighted since everyone seemed concerned towards her. Tatiana, her mum, was perplexed when her daughter informed her that she had been expecting a child. Some had doubts about what would occur to the daughter, even though all seemed to be going smoothly. Sergi moved his wife, Maria, to the hospital's delivery room when it was time for her to give birth. He was accompanied by his parents. For Maria, who was giving birth for the first time in her life, the delivery was traumatic. But instead, all progressed smoothly. Maria gave birth to the child and waited for them to carry him into her so she could hold him. Several nurses arrived with such a black baby and placed it in Maria's arms, who examined him closely. How is it possible? She seemed taken aback and informed the nurse how this baby wasn't hers because he looked nothing like her father. The nurse put the baby back in Maria's arms and told her that he was her son. The young woman continued to speak to the same nurse, informing her that something was incorrect since the baby she was carrying could not possibly be her child. Additionally, Maria was advised to simmer down by a physician who informed her that the child was her biological son, the runaway mother. To prevent misleading everyone, the young woman pretended she didn't understand what had been going on with her during the moment, waiting around for the doctor and nurse to exit the hall. Eventually, she slipped out from the facility and vanished. Sergi couldn't imagine Maria had cheated on him. He continued to search for his parents, who would have still been unable to communicate, although they informed their son that he could go back from the hospital, and they encouraged him not to worry anymore about the young woman who had cheated on him. When Tatiana knew what had happened to her daughter, she went straight to his place, where she found him alongside his parents through the corridor, chatting away against Maria. A mum's side of the story. Before actually knocking, the woman appeared for a few seconds in the door, then overheard Anna informing her son how Maria is a young woman who doesn't love him. She also gave rise to a mysterious child, according to the facts. As a result, she questioned that he refrained from worrying towards her, since she is cruel and doesn't really love him. Tatiana knocked on the door and begged Anna to quit speaking regarding her daughter. Tatiana frowned at Sergi, and she told him how he loved Maria well enough and that she'll never deceive her spouse. She revealed that she had a long-kept secret that she may have to reveal to him. The woman revealed that she lost her husband in a tragic car accident 22 years ago, and that saddened her. She was depressed and unhappy over several months in her home. Finally, to make herself look better and healthier, she decided to adopt a little girl. She therefore proceeded to the nearby shelter. She came across Maria, who instantly drew her interest as soon as she saw her, and told the officer inside the centre that she'd like to choose the quiet girl who remained isolated. The man immediately informed her that Maria's mother had left the hospital and escaped, and that she had gotten pregnant by a black man of African descent. As a result, she didn't want to hold her own child. Tatiana was unconcerned about the situation, telling the representative that she chose to adopt the little girl and took her to her new village home. She continued to look after her. She made the decision not to inform the neighbourhood regarding her situation. She also declined to admit that she was not her natural child to the authorities. Tatiana went on to say that she'd have to search for jobs several times, and she moved to the area, staying to assist and look after Maria until she had grown up and then become a lovely young lady. Her concern was for her potential kids, as her father is brown and her kids could inherit his DNA. And that's what ended up happening, Tatiana explained, noting that Maria was fascinated with him and spoke only about him in the 2 years that he was away, since she adored him. She claimed she left the hospital since she didn't want to face him, and to see his disappointment, he would believe she probably cheated on him with someone else. Tatiana recounted the story and attempted to evict her from the house, despite Anna's laughter. Sergi, however, who has been taken aback, begged his mum to tone it down. When he confronted Tatiana about whether she was confident the boy was his biological son, she verified it all and agreed to conduct a DNA test to prove it. Anna was displeased by her son's decision to invite a brown baby to her home. On the other hand, Sergi told her that if he is his son, that he couldn't abandon him. Tatiana paid a visit to Sergi's child, bringing him presents and playing with him. And that was because of this. The little boy adored her so much that he referred to her as his grandma. Everyone loved Anton, ever since he first arrived at the school. His chocolate-light skin, combined with his perfection of his facial structure, gave him a unique appearance. Through his intellect, the little boy caught the attention of everyone. His school friends clung to him because of his knowledge and great sense of humour. Is she lonely? Maria had relocated to the city and had no interest in returning. She got a job as a waitress in a fancy restaurant, moved into an apartment and lived there alone. She yearned for her mother and husband. However, she felt she was putting her spouse in a bad light and that there was no way that she'd be regarded as a traitor by everyone. Even though she is honest, she has opted to remain apart from the others to escape complications. The young woman seemed to have an affair with Andre, the restaurant owner where she was employed. He also comes from a wealthy family, yet she regards him as just a good friend. However, the young man eventually proposed to her and decided to marry her. Maria became highly skeptical about the marriage because she'd never forgotten Sergi. On the other hand, Andre persuaded her to marry him, although the two do not really love each other. Since he appreciated the young woman's beauty and always wished to have a son through someone he could inherit, the two got married and decided to move into Andre's extravagant flat. They stayed to conceive a child, a son, that Andre awaited with great anticipation. This, however, didn't take place. The pair went to every facility throughout the country and spent a fortune. They were, however, still unable to reproduce. Andre admitted to Maria that he married her for raising a son and that he didn't love her. As a result, he proposed a separation to her. However, once she accepted, he compensated her with a large amount of money. Maria wanted to go back to her old hometown, even though she was fully conscious that her heart was dangling in the air, since her mother eagerly awaited her, her husband, and her son. When the young woman appeared in the area, she attempted to rebuild what she had ruined and began a new life. She started looking for her husband and son's place and ended up finding it. Then she rang the doorbell, which a 7-year-old coloured boy unexpectedly opened. Then her eyes watered with tears and she knew he was her son. The kid called his dad and informed him that he'd been found. After a long and painful experience, mostly with the money funds Maria received, they were able to buy a house and settled in together as a family. The end. What do you think of this story? Is it indispensable to run away because of what happened? How will running away solve your problems? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Before you leave, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get updated on our future content. With that being said, see you in the next one.